This shit is bananas.
Prepare yourselves, fools. This program contains graphic language like fuck, shit, and cunt. It also contains discussions about violence and graphic descriptions of gore, such as cunt punning a dead nun while the entrails and blood splatter your face and your new shirt. I digress. This show is for adults, so dispose of your children as you see fit. Now silence and enjoy the show.
Bigfoot, undisputedly the world's most entertaining cryptid. Join the Reverend Jeff Kelly and your old pal Wes as they discuss the best and worst the media has to offer. Movies, books, TV shows, commercials, all on Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly. And I am the host of this mess, the Reverend Jeff Kelly, the Sasquatch Messiah. That's right. Along with me every week is your old pal, Sir Wesley Losner of Lounge. How are you doing, Snidely?
Yeah. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. That's right. Now, we're talking about SNOWBEAST. What happens when you put John Snyder in a movie without Tom Wopat? Well, SNOWBEAST happens, and God, did it just seem to go on forever and ever. Amen.
Really did. It seemed longer than the time it said it was.
Yeah, it said it was an hour and 30 minutes. I swear it was 2:25.
Yeah.
Don't forget to go out to facebook.com/Angels Dust Seasoning. Get you some Angels Dust on your food. Makes everything better, including watermelon. I don't know how that's possible, but you know,
it gets you high and all your friends.
No, it's not that kind of Angels Dust. Angels Dust Seasoning. That's right, for all of your Angels Dust needs. Okay, so
you know what it is? It's some guy named Angel just scraping his dandruff into a little jar.
Okay, well, you know, if I can get that past the FDA, I guess I wouldn't be so bad. So we're sitting here literally like today realizing that we don't have a movie to watch for tonight, and we're like, are we even going to do a show? It's Halloween. I'm like, hell yeah, our fans expect us to be on Halloween night. Well, here we are, fuckers, and you better be out there watching too. So SNOWBEAST, man. I was, you know, at least it wasn't the Christmas shoes.
Yeah, well, there's like seriously like 4 or 5 movies called SNOWBEAST, and this is the one that I always think it is when we do it. And I'm like, Rev, this is that sci-fi movie I told you that I would find.
Yeah, you keep telling me that.
And it's never that, and then I finally found it. It just, I think the link didn't say SNOWBEAST or some shit. I might have been wrong. I don't know. But anyways, it starts out like, you know, rock and roll music, kind of hard rock, you know, and then it's snowy mountains, people snowboarding. One dude goes drifting off trail because they got to get you hooked in the beginning before they give you the title, you know, and you see the, you know, Yeti fly by, you get Yeti vision. You know, like dude's like, you know, gets off of his board, he's lost, he's looking around, Yeti comes up, fucks his day up.
And then, like, Dad?
And then just SNOWBEAST on the screen, like, yeah, SNOWBEAST, bitches, you know, like.
Has a vengeance and a taste for human blood.
Yeah, so, like, you have to now tell your story, so they have to set out on this trip like all Bigfoot movies do. You got someone killed in the beginning. Now let's
right, exactly.
Who's going on the trip up to the mountain next, right? So you get this dad and daughter like talking, and I guess the daughter got in trouble in school for fighting or some shit. I guess she got expelled or something. I don't think you'd get expelled for fighting. She must have stabbed this bitch. You know? So they have that whole little scene, and then they meet up.
Well, you can't stay home with yourself because you're stabbing a bitch. So get your bag packed.
You little snot. But yeah, so they meet up with this dude's team. They're a research team. They were what? Researching the lynx?
The lynx, yeah, the Canadian lynx. They were going to Connecticut, Canada. Yeah, Canada. I can't. My tongue don't work tonight. I just fuck it. Doesn't work.
You know, Canadians have scratch and sniff money.
Do they really? What's it smell like?
Maple syrup.
No, you're kidding me.
No, watch. Ask Star or Cameron or one of the.
If you scratch the maple leaf, it actually smells like maple. I don't.
Yeah, I
that.
saw it on someone vlogging, and they were like, "What the fuck? You got scratch and sniff money?"
I did hear that on the other side of Mount Rushmore, there's actually carved out where the guys are kneeling in, and you can see their asses.
I can't laugh or I'll start coughing.
Starshine says it is true. They do actually have scratch and sniff money. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute. I won't even test the theory. If somebody sends me one, I still won't scratch it and sniff it because I don't believe it, and I'm not going to be gullible enough to actually do it.
I'm telling you, it's a real thing. I wish ours was scratch and sniff. I think America would smell like fried chicken and grease.
Hit a little bit of shame, wrapped in a little bit of fear, maybe a side of racism.
Like old dead beer, cigarettes.
Back to John Snyder shaving his daughter for stabbing a bitch in school.
We don't need to scratch that shit. You just pull money out, it's going to stink like ass anyways. But yeah, so after they meet up with the team, they head out. And, after that whole scene, there's a scene with the ranger, and he's hanging up missing signs. And then you get this guy that looks like, he looked like he had maybe 50-something pounds on me. All right, you don't see me being a forest ranger, right, y'all? Okay, no, I don't think so. So this guy, he's even more slobbier. His guts hanging out. This guy's like the chief freaking ranger or some shit this guy was playing. And he never was in uniform. But there's that whole scene where they're talking and shit. And he's like, people go missing. Don't waste your time. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go get some cheese puffs.
Let's go get some cheeseburgers because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
We got to get some maple syrup on them cheeseburgers because we put maple syrup on everything, including our money. Yep. That's it. This is the maple syrup money edition of Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly.
Yep.
Blame Canada.
Blows your mind, right? But what other country would you expect that from?
Well, what would Russia smell like? Russia would smell like borscht and fear with a little bit of depression.
I've never seen a Russian that didn't smoke cigarettes, so they'd probably smell like cigarettes too.
Stale cigarettes and borscht, a little bit of depression. Bare knuckle fighting 5-year-olds in the basement.
It's like the breath of their enemies smashing on their fists. I don't know what. See, okay, now you guys hear me say this shit a lot, all right? My fucking paper. I don't paper. What am I? See, I don't even talk right. I can't read some of my shit sometimes. All right, so I don't know what the fuck person's paper means. Oh, missing person's paper. Duh, that's part of a big sentence. Wow. So they arrive at the cabin, and the little girl is a little shit. All right, she's being a little shit. There's this whole scene.
She's in a ski cabin resort in Canada land. That has money that smells like maple syrup. Dude, what would Mexico money smell like?
Not tacos, because they don't really eat tacos like that, like how it is out here.
A little bit of old tequila and prostitution. What's this prostitution smell like?
Fish. Rotten fish.
Oh,
Dried saltfish. Hagfish. But yeah, fuck. Speaking of fish, so the little daughter has this scene where she gets told to go help cooking and shit, right?
little pouty McGee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so she goes
like,
in and starts flirting
figure
with
out-
the
I see.
guy.
I thought she was gonna like poop stick the food. Like I literally thought she was gonna like dig in her butt and put it in the food because she had that dirty ass smirk on her face. Oh, you want me to go make you food? Okay. Exactly. It's like, here, give me a little famunda cheese and put that on your sandwich bread. That ought to be a real good tangy dessert.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so the dad like makes some kind of comment to the guy after he tells the girl to fucking get lost, and the dude like's like, oh, I wasn't gonna flirt, and he stumbles, falls over. There's that whole scene where he made himself fall over. Like the acting's kind of hardcore in this. It's rough.
The Reverend Jeff would smell like Nutter Butters, pot, and loathsome fear. That's what the Reverend Jeff would smell like. That's what his money would smell like.
Mine would smell like weed and Dr. Pepper.
Weed and Dr. Pepper and angst from anything.
Yeah. After that whole scene, the dad talks with the hot broad, the hot scientist chick outside and everything about why his daughter's a little shit. And then the next scene after that, I think it's the Rangers talking about missing people, and that dude's like pinning shit up on the wall,
He's like, hey, where's the fat man? He's like, getting burgers as usual, waiting on food.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the joke of the show.
Right after that scene, that dude pulls over. It's just a random guy getting killed. Guy pulls over. He's lost. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to go take a piss. And then he's like looking, and then, like he hears the noise, and he looks through the bushes, and he sees the Yeti guy. And then he ends up getting killed with his fucking wanker hanging out. So then, fucking the next day or whatever, that team of scientist people head out and on snowmobiles and.
Now you stay put. You stay right here.
Yeah, they make that little bitch stay there, and then she was stacking Fruit Loops in a whole bunch of weird stacks. It was like, yeah, what?
OCD.
Yeah, it's so hardcore.
OCD will make you do weird shit, man.
Yeah. So the dude, I don't know the guy's name, but he was like the other scientist guy, not the dad of the girl. He comes back to the cabin, and he's got to go to the city for some shit, and so the little fucking snot daughter hops in the back of his truck and hides. Not thinking like, how are you gonna get back, bitch? Like, I think he even said something like that. How did she even think you were gonna get home? Like, idiot. So there's that whole scene and everything, and then they come back, and like the dad's there, like, where'd you go? And that guy like kind of like sticks up for her because he did want to get in that little girl.
Oh, that was creepy. So creepy on so many levels.
Yeah. So then
they're trying to have a moral in a Bigfoot movie, and it kind of disrupted the Bigfoot movie.
Yeah. And there was a scene where I think before that he found that girl. He like talked with the ranger about some shit. And then from there, they cut to that scene with the two hikers. And
right.
That's when the fucking...
I thought you said this was going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're out there snowshoeing, humping it up the hill.
They get fucked up.
Did you hear that? Here, one's gone. Dad?
Yeah.
Dad?
Gone.
That one's gone too. Whoop. There it is.
Yeah, and then there's that whole scene after that too, because they cut to them, the team, and the snot girl having dinner, and they're making this like whole joke. They've been having this ongoing joke about the hot lady, can't cook or some shit. She makes gross food, and everybody's like throwing away their whole plate. And they're like, "Yeah, give me a fucking ice cream bar. You didn't make them, right?" They make those
Right.
jokes, So what's it called? Right after that scene, that's where that really great Oscar acting comes out. The little snot, like, here's like the dad like laugh at a joke of the hottie scientist lady, and like, "Are you two dating?" and all that shit. That scene, like, it was just like, wow, every single person in here is like just shit. Like that, I've seen the dad dude in other movies. Like, how does that guy get work if he acts like that?
The dad dude? That's John Snyder. You don't know who that is?
No,
That's
he's a shit actor.
That's one of the Duke boys from the Dukes of Hazzard, you douche canoe.
Well, he's
of course he's a
shit.
cheeseball. He's a cheeseball actor. He's in every friggin' Home Life TV network, Oprah network, friggin' network for women, friggin' Christmas shoes, the Christmas beret. He's an old country singer.
Griffith kind of feel.
Yeah. He only does. Now. He seems to only make movies with a moral, and this moral is how to curb a teenage badass girl.
Yeah,
with a Sam Squanch
that stacks Fruit Loops
and stabs stabs girls to get expelled.
Yeah, little snot flirts with older men. But let's see. I can't read that. Dude goes out. I think that's what this scene is. The dude goes out and is taking out trash, and that's when he hears the roar. And he kind of just runs inside. And then that's when the next day when they start going checking cameras, their little trail cam live feed, whatever the fuck it was. And in one of their cameras, like, they were going over it on the computer and they got like a blur. You saw like the back end of the little Yeti monster running. And so then from there they go to all the cameras, they go out looking, and the little snot goes with them that time, and then she ends up finding Yeti tracks.
Look at these tracks over here.
Yeah.
They're ginormous.
But the dad didn't come running until the hottie scientist said, "Hey, you really need to come look at this." Like
he's like, "Oh yeah, Yeti, Bigfoot,
Yeah. So she comes and looks.
These are weird.
What's it called?
Come on, boy.
I'm trying to read this shit. It's horrible. They're back. They eat dinner. There's that whole scene because the girl cooks, so everybody's able to eat.
Oh, she cooks special, all right. A little bit of cooter hair pie.
Oh.
A little bit of special salt seasoning in yours tonight there, Daddy Pooh.
Extra yeast in the garlic bread. So the dad dude goes to get wood, and he hears something also. It's like how the other guy heard, and you get Yeti vision staring at him and shit. And then, like, they're all sleeping later that night, and they start hearing noises and growls, and it wakes everyone up. They're all looking around, and then that dad, calm as fuck. All right, now, I know we just heard the snowmobile get completely fucked up, and something big's right outside the door, but let's all go get some shut-eye, y'all.
yeah, don't worry about that. We'll deal with that in the morning.
He was calm as fuck. And so they go to bed, they wake up, and that fucking thing's like, snowmobile's fucked up, there's tracks outside. I think that's when the scientist lady, goes to town to talk to those rangers and shit like that. And then the other guy, I don't know none of their names. I know that one of the rangers' name's Barry. That's it. So the only names I paid attention to was Barry. But so that one dude's fucking with the camera, the broken one, and they go to fix it, like, because they tried fixing it on the computer, and now they're going to actually fucking reset the camera out there on the trail, and then they cut to the Rangers, and the Rangers drive, dude stops, thinks he sees something, goes out there, and the Yeti has this, like, attack pattern in every kill that he does where he runs by the screen like 7 times before he fucking kills the person, so you have to go through that until he kills that fucking Ranger, Barry. And then the big guy, who was in the truck waiting with it, Barry, goes looking for Barry and gets his ass handed to him after he stumbles all over the fucking place. And then so it cuts back to that guy that was fixing the cam, and while the other guy's with him, and that's when he falls into the fucking den, the Yeti den or whatever and shit. Finds that random pile of bones right in the middle. And then so you got the Yeti creeping by the cameras in that scene, and the girl's calling saying she sees it. You know, they're having the fucking violin music in the background, making you feel like some suspenseful shit's happening. Totally different movie. You should have went with like Psycho, like they run. Those two dudes run. The Yeti starts chasing after them. They're hauling ass on the snowmobile. Holy fuck, how many pages?
Shout outs coming up here soon, people. So if you haven't made a comment in the lounge, you better do one now so I know that you're out there. Otherwise, I don't know who you is.
Yeah. So they get back and they look at footage, and there's this whole scene with the dad and daughter, and they're scared and blah, blah, blah. And then
we're leaving. We're leaving right the F now.
Yeah.
The moment we can leave, we're leaving effing now. He's leaving, you're leaving, she's leaving, everybody's leaving.
And that's the scene where the hottie broad is like, hey, think about science. We can fucking be the ones that discover this, you know, and all this shit. And then the dude gives that speech about it being a Yeti, and they talk about that. And the one broad wants to go find it, and she sneaks away in the morning and takes the fucking truck. These people want to leave and save their lives, like, and she takes their own
ass out because
the Yeti finds her within a minute of her getting out of her fucking truck. Within a minute, she's fucked and regretting that. Well, she didn't regret it too long because she got her fucking ass handed to her.
She got the back of her head smashed in.
Yeah, on the hood of a truck, which doesn't really make sense to me.
No, well, you know.
It's a pretty soft surface to hit your head.
You're just supposed to take it, you know, just as the magic of make-believe, I guess.
Yeah, so the dad wakes up, and he sees that the chick is gone, and, like, he is like, you know, hey, wake up, everybody wake up, you know, and all that. And then you see it cuts to the broad running from the Yeti. And she hasn't got killed yet, and she gets killed at that moment on the truck and shit. So then those people, like, instantly, like, within a minute, find the truck, and just blood. Her body's gone and shit, and they can't start the truck. They're trying, you know, and then, what's it called? The little snot sees the Yeti dragging that lady.
Yeah. Oh.
On the screen and shit.
She's like, it's on camera 3, Dad. It's on camera 3. I don't know what it is. Bitch, you knew what it was. Tell him what it was. Yeah. It was a large upright creature dragging a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And now it's on camera 4. It's on camera 4 now, Dad.
And then, what's it called? So they get home, or to the cabin or whatever, and the dad dude, like, decides that he's going to be the one that takes the snowmobile into town to save the day or whatever. And so, like, as he's driving, he sees the Yeti. The Yeti starts fucking chasing him. Yeti knocks him on his fucking ass, and, like, the snowmobile blows up and causes this huge, like,
for no reason,
Michael Bay explosion of smoke that you see on the screen. And the Yeti, like, bitch slaps him. And, like, the dude that's with the daughters, like, trying to fix the truck at this moment and shit like that. And then he's trying to fix the satellite the next scene, because they couldn't fix the truck. So he's trying to fix the satellite to make a call. And you get Yeti vision, like he's being fucking watched. And then, so, like, the next scene, I think, is when that dude and the little girl argue, about what they're going to do and shit. She wants to do something. The other one wants to do something. I don't really remember, because at this moment, I'm like, how much fucking longer is this movie? It seems like it just keeps fucking going,
Speaking of which, there's a podcast feels like it's going that way too. Let's go ahead and give shout outs to the people that are hanging out live in the lounge tonight. See who's hanging out there with us tonight. Let's see here. I see that there's our moderator and quasi-theorist, Mr. Dean Cooper. Cooper. How you doing there, sir? Ooh. That's right. Mr. Dave Jackson, of course, he finally figured out what time the show was this week. He's out there hanging tonight. Sam Rivera, that's right. Mr. Not Riviera. Sam Rivera. That's right. Star shines standing in the sky, something like that. Now batting third, playing left field, Mr. Kurt Harris. Dynamite Lancer checking in. Hello, back to you there, sir. Mr. Dynamite. Don Rife, the Don Viking. Of course, we have our buddy Rod Dupree.
In the motherfucking place to be.
The place to be. I'm going to curl your mustache. I'm going to do that every time you do that. Let's see who else is flying around out there tonight. There's a whole bunch of talking, but it's all about the same people. I'm not seeing any strange names pop up here.
It's Halloween.
It is Halloween, and we are kind of right in the middle. Wheelman Stan and James the Grower. How you doing?
The grower of tomatoes and celery.
That's right, Mr. Now batting our center fielder, Mr. John Haber. Let's see. Gin.
Put some geen on your lip.
It's like an Asian card game. Gin. He checked in with us as well. Yeah, that's right. I tickle my own fancy sometimes because you people don't. That's right. They didn't get it. I said I once tied a man's hand behind his back and then watched him tie his own hand behind his back with one hand already tied behind his back. I once saw a map ask the same man for directions. He wasn't drinking beer. He was smoking those doobies. Stay toasty, my friends. They didn't get it. They didn't get it. Are you people not fans of the show or what? I said he's had the most interesting beard in Bigfoot. They still didn't get it. Anyhow, James Dalrymple. He's not related to Jack Dalrymple, the asshole in North Dakota. That guy is a real Dalrymple. I'd rather be Dalrymple out here in the middle of anywhere than rather be Munson.
Dalrymple.
All right, there, sir. How many 9,000 pages you got left here? Let's get back to the show.
1.5. Less than a half. So
she's seeing the Yeti dragging that bitch around on the camera.
The girl's talking. She opens up the blinds to the window, and the Yeti's right there. And what do you do in true horror movie status?
You run upstairs.
Yep. You run upstairs and lock yourself in the bedroom. The Yeti can't get in because they use the magic, let's say, blockade of a small little 4-drawer dresser.
Right.
That stops Yetis.
Right. Stops Yetis.
Stopping
Yetis in their tracks since 1979.
Over its head and smash it. However, can't get past the small IKEA 4-drawer dresser set. Stopping
monsters in 1712. The 4-drawer dresser.
Yep. They single-handedly took down the Jersey Devil with a 4-door dresser from IKEA. So there's this like long fucking what seems like 30-minute scene where the dude and the little snot girl talk, and then the next morning they wake up, they're all like, oh shit, let's go look for my dad, blah blah blah. And then there's the whole kill the Yeti montage.
Kill the Yeti, kill the Yeti, kill the Yeti, kill the Yeti.
And he's like talking the whole plan. First, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna
kill the Yeti,
and then we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Kill the Yeti. Kill the Yeti, Yeti. Kill the Yeti. Kill the Yeti. Kill the Yeti, Yeti.
So then they set out and they're walking, and she's like dragging a trash can lid with like lasagna and some hamburger meat. And
it's like a homeless bum's dinner, she's just dragging his stuff around.
They have like
I'm having a hard time choosing between the already chewed bubble gum and the half yogurt cup that may or may not be expired.
They have a heart-to-heart scene that just is like blah. Then the Yeti goes for the bait. They're hanging up in a tree with the trank gun, right? They trank this motherfucker 4 times, and the Yeti goes down. They run, they go in the cave, they find the dad, they wake him up, they warm him up with some fucking hot things, whatever the fucks they are. The Yeti comes and is like, "Rawr," right there. The dude fights the Yeti, gets fucking killed, whatever the fuck the guy's name was. And fucking, so the dad and the girl are running, they pull out a fucking flare gun and cause an avalanche on the fucking Yeti, and like
somehow this flare gun is going to cause an avalanche. Wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but it did. It sure enough did it.
And so like the next scene is them at their house, and they're like, "Oh, we have a better relationship because of the Yeti," and they're all talking and they're having jokes because dude's getting blasted in like some magazine that he survived a hoax, and then the girl's getting made fun of at school because she's a hoaxer or some bullshit, like the whole world like started calling him a hoaxer and shit like that. And then so the girl like does that, I wonder if they're ever gonna find the body. And then so it cuts to fucking 2 people hiking, and then fucking dude stops and is like, "You hear that?" And he starts like leaning in, and then the fucking Yeti.
The Yetis are never dead. Never dead.
Never dead. They're never dead. In none of these movies does the Yeti ever die. It always just dun 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 pops its hand up. It's like,
kill the Yeti. Kill the Yeti. Kill the Yeti. All right, before I get copyright infringement going on here tonight, thanks very much, everybody that did join us for the Halloween edition of the Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly. Ooh. Don't forget to join us Wednesday night for the Squatchers Lounge podcast. Yeah, I said it. That's right. And Bigfoot Campfire Stories. That's right. Listen to them. They're out there. There's lots of them. There's more. There's coming.
Playlist those bitches.
They playlist them bitches like a champ. Anyhow, don't forget Snapped Chatters, and I ain't spelling it for you, but learning shit with your bra Wes is just, it's killing me. And the personals is just like Jimmy Jim Jam to go. Thanks everybody for watching. I give this one about a 3.5 on the scale of Yeti movies. What are you thinking there, bra Wes?
2.
A flat 2.0.
Flat 2. Not even a high 2.
Flat 2.0.
Disappointing 2 that you don't want to wake up to in the morning, and you will not make eye contact.
It's like a date it's like a date with a tramp that doesn't end in sex.
And you still have to take her to breakfast the next morning.
That's right. Thanks everybody for watching, and may the squatch be with you.
And she kind of looks like that on the screen.
Coyote,
SNOWBEAST.
So you'd rather chew off your arm to get away from that bitch than wake her up
with goblin ears.
thought I looked good last night, motherfucker. Yeah, but last night I had on beer goggles. What them bitches at?